Hey there, Sandy here with Sandy and Company, and today I'm talking about making those big decisions for your family and how important it is to communicate. I'm working on putting a second bathroom in my house. When I first bought the house, I knew that it would be helpful to have a second bathroom, but it wasn't necessary immediately because when we had talked about possibly having my mom move in down the road, and so it was okay if we only had one bathroom to start. Now, as I have taken a look at what we will need to do when my mom moved in with me, she was likely going to need a space that not only was one level, but that also had space for a wheelchair, because currently she gets around in the house with a wheelchair. So if we're going to add a bathroom, it really needed to have space for her to turn around in a wheelchair, and that involved actually making my interior space bigger. I have a section at the back of my house that is a closet and a walkway that's accessed from the outside, and we were talking about bumping that out to the edge and turning it all into interior space. Well, when we start talking about turning exterior space into interior space, that gets a lot more expensive. So I was talking a lot with contractors and all that to say the bill was going up and up and up. And I finally just had to say, you know what? I need to talk to Mom. And when it really came right down to it, she really doesn't plan to move in with me, because as long as she can stay in an independent house, she wants to be in her independent house. And yes, it's interdependent. She has help from the people around us, but she didn't want to make the change sooner to move into mine. And that is fine. When we start thinking about what needs to happen for other people in the family, it's so important to have that conversation with them. And sometimes I hesitate to have that conversation because I don't want to set up expectations, or maybe I don't want people to get excited because it might not work out in the long run. But what this really did for me is once we had that conversation and realized what it was that she did want, then I could do what worked for me. And honestly, I didn't know. I had to really go back and think about it. Okay, in terms of what works for me in this house, what do I need? And as it turned out, I don't really need as much space, and I am going to keep just the interior space being the interior space, and that will save me a lot of money and time and effort and hassle from the county. So I'm very excited in that respect. So what am I trying to say here? Talk with your family members. And if you are making decisions about how best for mom and dad to live with you, or how best for grandkids and kids to live with you, and how you need to move your house around, if you're making decisions that involve changing your house, spending money, and making major life changes about how you're living in your space, have that conversation. Make sure everyone's on board, because maybe, just maybe, you're putting too much thought into something that isn't what everyone else wants as well. If that resonates with you, if that's part of what happens in your life, then I hope this has been helpful, because for me, I try to fix everything and then present a solution. I try to think of all of the possibilities and make sure that I am doing the best for everyone. And sometimes I can just make it a lot simpler. And I'm glad to do that. If I can help you go through that process and understand what it will take to make things happen for other people to live in your house, or for you to live in your house differently, or maybe to change your house so that you can live in a house the way you want to, call me, message me. I am here for you. And whatever I learned from working with myself and my own family, I'm more than happy to put to good use to help you out with yours. Have a super blessed day. Stay safe and healthy. And if there's anything we can do for you, please reach out. We're glad to be there. Take care.